Hello virtual pilots, my name is Andrei, and today in this video I will tell you how to create an IFR flight plan for a flight simulator. I'm going to fly in IWOW network and to use X-Plane simulator, X-Plane 11, but actually it doesn't matter which simulator do you use or in which network are you flying, because all these standards are provided by the real-life International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, and in flight simulators we are trying to follow these real-life standards, so they are common for all networks and all simulators, flight simulators, because this is how we fly in real life. And yeah, today I'm going to perform a flight for Boeing 737-300 freighter from Armenia to Lithuania. I will fly for Class Jet airline, which actually recently got this 737-300 from Bluebird Nordic Cargo Airline from Iceland. And this is a real-life flight from Flight Radar, as you can see, and I just find it fun to copy some real-life flights in flight simulator. But before I start, I should tell you that I'm not a real-life pilot yet, even I have some experience in flying online in flight simulators. Anyway, I just will try to show you an example of an IFR flight using mostly freeware tools. I will put the links in the description of this video. So let's get started. So here I have a checklist for flight planning, and we will go from top to the bottom through it. Yes, and the first line there is a METAR. METAR is the aviation weather, in case you don't know. And basically there are three weather global servers in the world. One in the US, second in London, and third in Moscow. And yeah, all flight simulating tools which use weather, they basically take it from the American server, and we just go to the website of this server and just use it directly from there, from the Aviation Weather Center, as you can see. So on this server, on this website, we just go here to request METAR data, and for this we need ICAO codes of the airports we're going to use today. So in Yerevan it will be, I just will check it from here. Actually I know the codes, so I just can type it in. This one, and we'll use this one, and also we will need TAF here. Okay, if you don't know what actually this METAR and TAF means, I would advise you to learn how to read METAR and TAF. There are dozens of instructions in the internet, and you have to learn it. It's just basic aviation meteorology. So I'm not going to dive into it right now. We're just going to use this METAR and just read it what we have here. So in the Yerevan we have as you can see, light wind, good visibility, no clouds, and they expect a bit of wind, a bit worse visibility, and actually this one can affect us, so we should consider it, because yeah, we're going to depart soon before 6 o'clock, so we can encounter this kind of visibility and precipitation and clouds in our departure airdrome. And then in Vilnius there is also light wind, good visibility, overcasted 500. Yeah, so basically good weather. And the forecast says that it can be a bit worse visibility, and then again during these night hours, morning hours, there can be very bad visibility with 600 meters fog and vertical visibility only 200 feet. Alright, so now we go to the, okay, we checked METAR, checked TAF, so we just mark it green, done. Now we need charts, and for charts I know there is a payware solution on the JPSN and Navigraph, but also you can use state IEP of different countries, and if you fly in Europe it's a bit easier because we have this Eurocontrol website where we can, there just you can create their account for free, and there's IEP library, and basically even for some states which are not under Eurocontrol jurisdiction you can find charts there. For example for Armenia. And it goes just like this. You put ICAO here, you put type of IEP you need here, and you put search, and you have all the documents here. Okay, at first we need of course airdrome chart, so we know all basic information from there. In case when you arrive there you probably will need a parking chart, as this is also very useful thing with markings all stands and taxiways and everything. Okay, if the country of your flight is outside Eurocontrol, or you didn't find IEP on the website of the Eurocontrol, then you have to Google basically for it, and there are different solutions. For example, there are separate website for Russian IEP, and you can just go through the first link there and you just will find it here like this. So it's also possible to use these freeware charts, even probably it's not so like comfortable, or you just need to Google for it a little bit. So what charts will we need for our flight? Of course we will start, it just goes logically, it will start from our airdrome, then we will need standard departure charts, they're here, and then the same for the airdrome of arrival. Now this is stable, and we need a road, this one. No, this is stable again. And this one, yes. This is for the runway 09. but we already know that the wind there is 260, so probably runway 27 will be better for us, more suitable for us. And where is this one? It should be this one. Yes. Okay, we just save this for now, and then we go to our airdrome of arrival. No, not Estonia, going to be Lithuania. So the same there, we just put it here, and then wind is 2706 knots, which actually means we can use any runway there. So we just prepare both charts for runway 01 and runway 19er. Okay. So we have charts. Now, local rules and regulations. Why this one is important? It's because can be, for example, different night procedures if you fly during the night, or can be some other circumstances which you need to know about local aerodrome. So you basically have to learn your aerodromes between which you are going to fly. And so here we go not to charts but to IIP, and there are two versions in Lithuanian and English. We will open the English one, and here we have all kind of information what is going on the aerodrome. For example, we will need these numbers in future. I will tell about it a bit later in this video. Okay, do we have any preferential runways or night procedures? No abandonment procedures. Okay. Flight procedures, IFR arrival. IFR departure. Here's something about departing aircrafts, but nothing for arriving aircrafts. Something about LVP, lower than 600 meters, and actually we are expecting this kind of visibility. Okay, additional information. So no special night procedures here. Okay, and what about our airport of origin? Here we go. Characteristics, helicopter, local regulations. Any preferential runways? Probably no. Restrictions on the runway. Aha. Okay. Right, so it's basically about taxiing on the runway. Alright, so no special night procedures here as well. Alright, so this one is done. Okay, now about the road. For this flight I'm going to use freeware tool, which which is called SimBrief. It's actually well known among simmers, but anyway, in case you don't know, this one, SimBrief. So here we go to this button, create new flight plan. We know our call sign and everything, we just take it from the real life flight. So this is class jet Kilo Lima Juliet 9962 flying from Yerevan to Vilnius. And this is just like pre-planning stage. I'm not going to use this route as a final one. But yeah, actually I'm quite surprised because this road goes pretty much the same as I wanted to make it. Sometimes these freeware planners, like, let me check some of them, like Road Finder or something, because I know some simmers use this tools and they think that they're very good for any flights, but this is not correct because okay, we don't have any map here. I wanted to show it because these tools mostly do not consider some vital information about flights in real life. That's why I usually use a freeware tool from real life aviation. It's called SkyVector, this one. Here we have all IFR roads in the world. This is just a global map. I will zoom it out to show you. There is a whole world there, and also yeah, like this. And this points at some of the airdromes here with the METAR, current METAR. Also you can use several type of layers here, like for example I usually use it for some segments like this one, you know, to know which segments will be on our way and everything. And here you have on the left top corner you have a button for flight planning, where you just put your airdrome of origin and airdrome of arrival. Here we go. And okay, this is what I expected from the this freeware planning tools, that they will build road just directly between 2 points, because usually they do it like this. Also these tools really like to stick with the airways, which is not completely true for 100% cases in real aviation, especially over the oceanic airspaces. So what is the problem here is a problem of this airspace on the east of Ukraine, which is closed now because of the combat on the ground there, and because in this area civil airliner was shut down, flight MH17. After this ICAO closed this airspace, and as well as the airspace over Crimea Peninsula, so you cannot fly directly there. All planes in real life, they fly around it. And this is not the only airspace like this in the world. There are some of them, several of them, and you have to consider it when you do your routing. So basically, as you can see, our optimal road goes directly through it, but we cannot fly it like this. Means we have to fly around either on the north or on the south. So it goes something, let's say like this, or let me change it, or something like this. right? Okay, so basically you as the captain of this flight have to make this choice where to fly, and you can consider weather. For example, you can consider wind here. You can use this wind chart for different flight levels, and yeah, you can see that there are like strong winds, strong headwinds over south of Russia, which will make your flight slower, and you can basically fly on the south, which will be probably faster. Also, you should consider the distance of the flight. If you fly something like this, it will be approximately 1260 nautical miles. If you fly through the south, then it will be where the like turning point, let's say somewhere here, then it will be like 15 miles more, but I think it's okay. So basically the distance is the same, but the wind is better if you fly through the southern part. Again, there is dozens of instructions how to read these wind marks, and you can, if you don't know how to read them, you can check these instructions. It's not a rocket science. So here basically it means that the more these black triangles we have, the heavier, the stronger wind we will meet at this flight level 340 in this case. Okay, so I think we will fly through the south in this case, and it means that we need to build our own road, not this one which SimBrief actually offered us. So our first waypoint here will be the last waypoint of our standard departure, which is somewhere among our, in this Eurocontrol library you cannot stay there for a long time. You have to like re-log in after some time if you forgot to close the page, but it's like nothing. You just push login and then do like login stuff. Okay, where's my standard departure? Okay, here. So it will be waypoint Tiblo or Sevan, or probably Indur. Let me check. So Tiblo is here, Indur is here, and Sevan is over there. Okay, I think Tiblo will be a good one for our flight today. Then we go to this crossroad of these two airways. And yeah, also you should pay attention if it's a two-way airway or only one-way airway. You can look at this arrow, means like at this part this airway works only one way, so you can fly only this direction. And for example on M10, name of the airway, you can fly only this direction here, okay? But this one without any arrows means it's a two-way airway, so we can fly both directions. So from here we need to fly through the Black Sea, and actually we are in a bit tricky situation here because all three airways here go only one direction. So we probably will need to fly a bit more to the north through the Kulem waypoint, then Banut. It's also important to take waypoints on the borders of fears, like this one. You can see this is a border of fear, especially between countries, because you can cross border between states only through the designated waypoints. can be different in European Union, but this is how it usually works in most cases. So we'll fly like this, then through this airway, and then on Kulim, then we will turn here, and here we again have this one-way airway. So what we will do there, we basically will fly towards Dolot, but on the Dolot we will fly directly to Ibrox. We can do this. We are not supposed to follow airways like during the whole flight. There is no mandatory rule for this. Okay, so we will just fly direct there, and then through Odessa, where there's supposed to be fixed Odessa. Yeah, this one. Okay, here we go. So there will be through the Ukraine, and then let me see where we are going to fly there. Okay, it's probably better to fly like this. Here again we need waypoint between Ukraine and Belarus. Okay, yeah, here will be waypoint between Russia and Ukraine. And then we will fly like this, and it will be this waypoint, and then we're supposed to arrive on the first waypoint of our standard arrival, which is from this website, from this side is going to be Sogby or Dukat, this one or this one. Right, so we're looking for Sogby or Dukat, and look, we're exactly on the Dukat waypoint, and from here we will fly our standard arrival to IAF in Seoul. And then what is our wind? And our wind is 290, so it's probably better to take runway 01. And then on the runway 01, yeah, this runway 01, we just fly it in Seoul, and from there we will join the, for example, ILS approach or other kind of approach to the runway 01. Alright, so we finish with our route. Here we go. The only thing we need to do now is just to delete repeating names of the airways, like for example here Ibrox, Odessa and Abroq. Okay, so from Baboon to Abroq. Okay, Abroq is on the border, so we need this waypoint. Then we don't need. We need waypoint Baboon because there will be turn to another runway. Okay, rather another airway. Okay, we don't need waypoint Odessa because it's just between Ibrox and Abroq, so there will be this name in Ibrox, Abroq. Funny guys. So we just can short it like this. Okay, what about Tiblo? We just need to check all the names of all airways here, because sometimes SkyVector choose wrong airway if there are like two airways goes the same place, which also happens time to time, and especially it's disappointing when it just choose airway which is a low airway. You can see it here, you can check it through the top right corner. So you can see like there's also another airway here. In this case it's with the same name, but sometimes they're with the name with the different names with the upper runway. I'm struggling to find an example right here, but you will see this is just can be like, let's say this Mike 9 986 can be low airway, and then upper airway will be uniform mic 986. So only like one letter, but makes a huge difference because in this case SimBrief or PFPX or other planner will consider this low airway and will not give you to fly on the upper flight level. It will change flight level according to the limits of this low airway, so just pay attention to it. Okay, so we are ready with our route here. We just copy it from here and put it directly to the SimBrief. Okay, it says we have some issues here. Let's investigate it. Lima. Okay, it's somewhere near a T-some waypoint. Not sure what is wrong here. Looks okayish for me. And then Tango 555, so this one. Invalid waypoints. No. SimBrief, it's okay. So departure, we can just play it like this, so it will give us actual standard arrival and departure routes. Yeah, then about the cargo, you can put it like this, total random, and then SimBrief will give you some amount of passengers or cargo, but usually, at least for me, usually it just gives me a lot of passengers and few cargo for some reason. I don't know, some ridiculous amount, something like can be like in an Airbus can be like 165 passengers and then only 3 kilos of cargo. I don't know why, whatever. And especially this time I'm going to fly on a freighter, not a passenger aircraft, so we'll put 0 passengers, and let's say there will be something like 12,300 kilos of cargo on our board. We don't need any extra fuel. And yeah, about alternate airport. Okay, at first you don't need alternate airport in 100% of cases when you're flying. There are special rules how to choose alternate airport, and if you need it or if you don't need it. Also you can pay attention to just, I mean, if it makes sense to choose this airport like right now or not. And for example, I know from real life that this airline is European airline, and SimBrief offers alternate in Belarus, which is outside European Union, so I doubt that European airline will take this airdrome, considering that it will have a lot of airdromes nearby which are in the European Union, so it will be easier for them to divert there. So we'll take a Riga airport instead. Just let's check. Okay, the weather is actually shitty there. Okay, bad choice, but we can check it here. What we have else? Okay, Kaunas actually seems okayish. Yeah, we can fly here also. We just will take this Polish airdrome because the weather looks fine there. Okay, this is our first version of our road, so we are ready to create our first version of our operational flight plan. It's probably not the final one. We're going to check how it will look like. Probably it will need some fixes and corrections. So at first what we're looking for is a cruise level here, and if everything is okayish with our airways from the SimBrief point of view, so it will keep the same flight level along the whole road. So flight level 340, and here we have only changing from knots to kilometers per hour, but the same flight level, so it's okay this time. Okay, and it means that our road is ready, and we are going to the next stage, which is OFP. In SimBrief I usually use this feature, which just opens my OFP, which OFP stands for Operational Flight Plan, by the way, and yeah, it's just easier to look through it like this. But also here, when I want to import it to my flight simulator, just go down here and you have an excellent choice of files which you need to import, like different formats and everything. So I'm going to use XC Classic. I will need this file, download, and if you don't know where to put it, just push this question mark and it will tell you where exactly you need to put this file. Then you can just, in the FMS, you can import it to the plane actually. So it will not, you will not need to input every airway and every waypoint of your road. But also be careful, because there can be some mistakes in this like import process. You have to check your road through the all pages of MCDU after, but just list it, you know. Let's push next page, and just see if everything is correct, like no discontinuities, no weird waypoints which are like 9,000 miles out of your road, so you will not fly detour somewhere in the middle of your road accidentally. Okay, also I will need this explain FMS file, because I'm going to use Active Sky as a weather engine, and it's better to import your road in the Active Sky. They say that this will make the creation of the weather more precise, I don't know, but and then you can import it to any website of any network. I mean, I'm going to use IVOW, but this is our last line in our checklist, so we're not going there for now. Just keep it here. And now we have this wonderful operational flight plan. There are exactly 52 pages in it, which is awesome, I think. And we have all kind of information here, and the charts, fancy charts, and you know, everything. And now we need to investigate it, what we actually have here and what we can use it in on this stage of actually pre-flight planning stage. So our operational flight plan. At first we go to NOTAM section, it's over here. And why actually should we consider this section? There are all kind of changes and limitations in real-life airports. Like for example, you know, here in Vilnius, in the airport of our arrival, there's aircraft stand number 55 is closed. So, and of course, someone can say like, hey, but it will not affect our sceneries in our flight simulators, because you know, it's still the same. So we actually can, let's say, park on this aircraft stand number 55 and nothing will happen. Well, yes, but this is the question of your point of view and your approach to this flight simulation. From my perspective, it's much more fun if you follow real life limits and constraints, because it will make your experience much better and much more fun. let's say you have an airport where you have only two types of approach on the runway, ILS and VOR DME, and in the NOTAM it will say that ILS for some reason is unserviceable, so you cannot use ILS. Then if you will follow this NOTAM, it means that you either have to use VOR DME approach or visual approach, and if the weather is not good enough for visual approach, then you will go to use just this VOR approach, and probably you will not you would not use VOR approach, like you will not choose to use VOR approach without this NOTAM, but in this case you will have to, you know. And this is a much more fun because it's a new experience for you. It's more like new practices and everything. So I usually check all these NOTAMs, and I mean, of course, like this one is not affect us, like some mobile obstacles appear there, so okay. But basically what says like about, okay, actually this is exactly what I talked about here in our airport of arrival. You can see that ILS is out of service. Okay, they actually said that in case of adverse weather, work will be stopped and service will be resumed ASAP. Okay, so it will not affect our flights anyway. But in other case, we would not have any ILS for this runway, you know, and then we will have to choose something else. Or probably if the weather would change to the worst, then we would have to fly to alternate airport, which also is a new challenge and something interesting. And then our destination alternate, here also some closure for taxiway, apron. Yeah, okay, so we are good with NOTAMs. We know what to expect. So we just pointed green, yeah, and we created our operational flight. Actually, we pointed yellow for now because we are revising it. And next point is PKN AKN, which stands for, this is a very interesting topic actually, stands for aircraft classification number and pavement classification number. So what is this about? Basically, I will try to explain it in my own words. Basically, this is how much an aircraft affects any kind of surface on the aerodrome, like runway or taxiway or apron, stuff like this. So let's say you cannot put heavy aircraft on a surface which is not suitable for it, because basically it will destroy the surface, and probably aircraft will be damaged as well if it will happen during the landing or takeoff or something like this. So you have to consider this. And again, of course, it is not fully simulated. Actually, it's not simulated in any flight simulators for now, but this is again this approach type to fly simulating. It can put some new challenges for you in some cases. I remember when I was going to fly on A320 to Corsica, and there is a small aerodrome there, and when I checked AKN PKN numbers there, it turned out that actually this pavement classification number is less than the aircraft classification number for A320 with a maximum landing weight. And then I had to calculate how much payload and fuel can I take on my plane to make this number equal, you know. And it was actually fun because it was a challenge. Okay, so what we're going to do here and how to use this thing. There is a wonderful manual about all this stuff with all explanations, which I would advise you to read through, and you can understand everything from here. But now I just will go directly to the calculating and checking stage. Okay, frankly, of course, both of our today aerodromes in Yerevan and in Vilnius are suitable for Boeing 737-300 with the maximum weight, but just because I'm going through all procedures this time, I'm going to use this one as well. And let's calculate what is going on there. Let's see what is going on there. So basically what we need to know is two numbers. We start with just two numbers, basically PKN, which is pavement classification number, and AKN, which is aircraft classification number. PKN can be found on the charts. Where is our chart for the Vilnius? Here we go. Do we have it here? Yes, we have it here. Okay, this is our PKN for the runway in Vilnius. It's 82. It says F, which means it's flexible, most typically asphalt. Then it's CWT. C is low strength, W unlimited, like there is no pressure limit for tire pressure, and T indicates technical evaluation. So okay, we have this number 82. 82 is the answer for everything, and 82 it's for C, which is low strength. Okay, now what we need is AKN, which is aircraft classification number. Again, you can Google it easily for most of the types of aircraft, any civilian airliner, probably except old ones or very new ones, but for all common spread airliners. So here I have this Excel table, and I already found mine 737-300 with a normal pressure, and here we have this wonderful table, and again we are looking for flexible and low strengths, which is so flexible and low. Okay, so again so we are interested in these two numbers, which is this is for maximum takeoff weight, and this is for operating weight empty. All right, so this is between 17 for empty aircraft and 37 for fully loaded aircraft maximum takeoff weight, and in the chart we have 82. So we are looking for this PKN number to be higher or bigger than AKN number, and yeah, it's like almost twice bigger than our AKN in this case. But we can go further and we can calculate what will be our actual AKN, especially for our flight. We have this wonderful, very simple formula here, because this is just approximate. No, not approximate, but this is numbers for maximum takeoff weight and empty plane. So, and none of these numbers are exactly for our case. This is just from like minimum to maximum, and our number will be somewhere between these two. So in case we will need to know exactly number, let's say if PKN will be here like something like not 82 but 32, then we will need to calculate this number. So our formula is, it's going to be AKN minimum, which is for operating empty weight, which is 17. Oops, sorry, 17. This is this number. I just put like equal here, so it will be 17 plus. In the brackets there are going to be again max, which is 37 minus again minimum, which is 17, and then we're going to use this one. M is the landing weight, and this is operating. Okay, so our landing weight we will know from our operational flight plan, which is here. We have it times and weights, and our landing weight is this one, 84.7. Let's say 49, right? So it's going to be 49 minus operating empty weight. Oh no, wait. Yeah, sorry, this is weight, not again. Okay, so it's 49 minus operating empty weight, which is operating empty weight is here 32.9, let's say 33, and then it will be okay, maximum apron weight, which is maximum takeoff weight. We will use it like this. So it's going to be 61 minus 33, right? 61 minus 33. Okay, so this is our formula which we need to calculate now, and I have this wonderful calculator for this. All right, so we'll start from the brackets, of course. 61 minus 33. 28, then 49 minus 33, it will be 16. Okay, then it will be obviously 20. Okay, now we need to put this in first. 16, 28, 05, and 20, and plus 17, which is 28. So this 28 is our exactly aircraft classification number for our flight today, with all this payload and this fuel and everything. And again, we just compare this number 28 to the charts, and this is 82. So okay, PKN is more than AKN, means we're good to go. Okay, done. Then MORA. Okay, MORA is a minimum, basically minimum off-road altitude, means safe altitude, of course. It's basically uses in the cases when you fly over some high terrain like mountains, and for example, if something goes terribly wrong on board, like engine failure or depressurization or fire, and you need to descend, or if in case of engine lost, you need to be at some altitude or descend to some altitude, some safe altitude, you know, because probably you will not be able to fly to keep the same altitude in case of engine loss. So you need to know what is the most critical more on your road, and if your plane will be able to fly over above this more, means that in any case you will be on a safe altitude, even if you will lose your engine. So it's again here in our fly off pen, we go to flight log and we have most critical more 11,700 feet at waypoint Tabas. Also we have a Mora for every waypoint, so like this, like 6,500, there will be 10,400, 11,000, 1,200 here, and then here Tabas and Ogevi. It's because Ogevi, Tabas, yeah, this is because there are mountains nearby. If you will switch to IFR, you will see this. There is high terrain, so these waypoints are Ogevi, and there is somewhere here is Tabas. Yeah, here Tabas, Ogevi, and you can see there are some high terrain around. So this most critical Mora is 11,700, and we have to be sure that we will be able to fly above 11,700 even if we will lose our engine or something else will happen. So how to know this? For this you need to know some more information about your aircraft, and you will need so-called FPPM, which is this thing, Flight Planning and Performance Manual. And unfortunately I could not find FPPM for Boeing 737-300. So this is FPPM for 737-700, which is completely different and cannot be used in for my flight, but I decided just to show you how to use this thing. So what we're going to do here, so in case of engine inop and max continuous thrust flaps up, here the table which shows at what altitude we can fly with this weight, right? So what we need to check is what our weight will be at this waypoint. Okay, and it's going to be yeah, here's our fuel on board, which we will add to our zero fuel weight, and then we will learn what will be our weight on this waypoint. So Tabas, the most critical Mora for us, Tabas, there will be 11,300 kilo of fuel at this waypoint. Then we go to our zero fuel weight, which is 45.1, and we will use our wonderful calculator again. So it's going to be 50.1 plus 11.3, and it's 56.4. And we will say if we would fly on the 737-700, which is again not our case this time, we will use so it's 56, so it's going to be this column for 55. That means that our most critical Mora should be above 25,000. You see, right? We can fly on 25,000 with this weight, like no problem. but we would not be able to fly on 30,000 if our critical motor would be like 30,000. Then we will not be able to fly there. Then we would have to replan our route to avoid this critical motor in our route. But we are going to do good this time. Everything will be fine. So Mora is done. We're good to go with this. Now this thing, again, this is not like really important probably, but mostly it means how bad turbulence will be on our road, and it is counted from 1 to 10, where 10 is the worst one. In this case, in this flight, it's going to be only the most critical one, maximum one, is expected at waypoint Unami, only 3 points. Also, you can see it here with this. So it will be one here, so mostly no turbulence expected, and some turbulence here. So you can expect that, let's say if there would be something like 7 or above 5 at Unami, then probably you would like to put seatbelts on just before this waypoint, you know, just to be sure that nobody will be harmed by this. Okay, we know everything about this. Now we are going to check METAR again. Why? Because while we were doing all this stuff, probably the weather could change drastically, and we need to check it again. Actually, this web page, it's self-updating time to time, but just to be sure, we can put update here, and we will see that that the weather has changed a bit, but no, nothing critical there. Yeah, and by the way, everything which I said about again for the you have to use and calculate it for all 3 aerodromes on your way, like for airport of origin, destination, and alternate, just to be sure that everything is okay there. Okay, we check METAR. It's fit to our road, to our standard arrival and standard departure. You also probably would like to check if we have any significant weather on our way, but yeah, there are some winds which we are smartly will avoid over here. We will not fly, you know, against them here. What else to mention? Yeah, probably, yeah, this is our ICAO flight plan, how it looks like. Probably some words about flight level. You know, of course, that there are 2 types of flight levels, even and uneven, and if we fly to the west, we will fly even flight level, like this 340 in this case. If we fly to the east, then it will be either 330 or 350, for example. But the thing is that in some regions in the world, they use not east-west system, but south-north. And even in Europe, on the southern part of Central Europe, like in Italy, Switzerland, and there are 6 regions there, and also in southern part of Russia, in this Rostov here, they also use south-north flight levels, not eastern-western system. So you have to consider it, because probably you will have to change your flight level when you enter such area there. Oh yeah, by the way, you can see another reason why it's better to fly on the south here rather on the north, because here we have some turbulence segments for turbulence, even it's not a big one. Yeah, So okay, we can approve our flight plan. There is no correction needed there, and then we just go to file the flight plan. For this we can go to FPL eval error in my case, and then you just go there and file flight plan. This is standard ICAO form. And by the way, also it's good to know about your airline which you're going to fly. I mean, if it's not an obvious one like I don't know, like Lufthansa or any major airline, it's better to know its actual call sign and stuff like this, because for example for ClassJet, there, as I learned yesterday, there is a call sign, class line, and yeah, so it's better to use proper call signs and everything. So we just will file flight plan here. So it's going to be, we can just use it from here, KLJ 962. It's going to be IFR scheduled flight Boeing 733. I just will copy this equipment from year 1. Time of departure, cruising speed in knots. Also you can use Mach and kilometers per hour, but Mach only for non-controlled airspace like oceanic airspace, and kilometers per hour in some regions, like for example in China or Russia. Mostly you will use knots. Oops, sorry. And then flight level 340. Then there will be our route. Also there are different rules for different regions. In some regions they will ask not to input standard departure and standard arrivals into the road part. I don't know why. And yeah, I remember there was such a requirement in Germany, for example. Not sure if they still have it. Like this. And here, other information, we'll use this one. So this is our equipment, date of flight, registration number of the aircraft. Time, estimated time when we will enter the different airspaces. So I'll call for the plane, name of the airline operator, type of the performance, and how much fuel do we have here? 4 hours 49 minutes. So it's freighters, only 2 people on board, and then submit, and oh yeah, for sure. So let's say will be 55, and here we go. So it's ready to be flown. So basically this is it. We just mark it as done, and yeah, so this is basics of pre-flight planning, and there can be some differences if you will fly over ocean or in some uncontrolled airspace, and probably I will make another video about it, but this is how you can do your proper IFR flight plan for flying online or offline in any simulator. I hope it was useful. You feel free to comment anything if I said anything wrong, but this is how I do this IFR planning for most of my flights. So, yep, see you later.